Really? Rolling up the sleeves?
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my new and improved Shadow Master build guide. As always, we will look at gameplay, skills, passives, gear, and of course break down the character sheet. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. On top of that, the advanced loot filter and advanced build planner is also linked in the description below. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now the skills I'm going to be using are Shift, Synchronized Strike, Shurikens, Smoke Bomb, and Shadow Cascade. You can see my modifiers over here on the right. This is an empowered monolith. Corruption is only at 130 though, all right? And we happened to pick an arena monolith. And we should just absolutely cut through this like butter. Put out our shadows. And what's nice about this is not only does it do huge damage, but it also hits in an AoE pattern, so you literally kill everything. Smoke Bomb for survivability. Shift for bouncing around. And everything creates shadows. Shift makes shadows. Synchronized Strike makes 5 shadows. Smoke Bomb even makes shadows. Obviously, super fast build. Feel like a ninja. Now, I was streaming this the other night. I put a solid, I think, 4 hours into it, and I've been playing in my off time. The new version of this build is much stronger. Feels a whole lot better. And later I'll take you to the training dummy and just show you what kind of damage this can do. That was fast. Let's do a normal run. And we're off. Super fast build, obviously. Now, if you want to be even quicker, you can throw a Smoke Weaver on and you'll be able to shift that much more often, but you will take a hit to damage. Oh, wrong way. Now, Shift, you're going to leave a shadow where you depart at and do a Shadow Cascade where you land. You can time your strikes as well. You don't have to use your shadows right away. So a lot of times you're killing enemies that aren't even on the screen. Gold. I like it when you see a dagger on the ground.
Not happy.
Take that. This is a long run. We've already 48 out of 48 on stability. And just like that, the Shadow Master has traversed the environment and successful. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's check out the skills for this build. They are the exact same skills. I've just tweaked them a little bit and changed up the passives. Starting with Shurikens, okay? Give you a second to take a look at it. And now this skill will be auto cast by shift. Kind of has become a staple to use Shurikens and shift at the same time because it just works so well. You want 3 into Alcriti, 4 into AA, 1 into Thin Shurikens, 1 into Blade Shield, 3 into Bladed Armor, 4 into Floating Blades, and 4 into Eternal Blades. I like having the Pierce just so it hits more enemies, okay? Pretty simple. That's how most people do it. Moving over to Shift. Gosh, one of the best skills in the game. Functions so well. Functions so well. Okay, you want 2 into Shadow Recuperation, 5 into Sleight of Hand. This is what throws the 5 Shurikens that I just showed you. 1 into Unseen Strike, 3 into Consumed by the Shadows. This gives you a 15% kill threshold, which is great when you are fighting bosses. 4 into Velocity, 3 into Momentum, 1 into Lasting Presence, and 1 into Dancing Strikes. So this makes it where you cast a Shadow Cascade after Shift, and Lasting Presence makes it where you create a shadow where you're shifting from. So your starting position and your ending position you're going to make a Shadow Cascade while you are shifting. On top of that, you're going to be making Shurikens. On top of that, the skill you do after your shift is going to have 100% increased damage. It's going to be a movement skill and have a kill threshold. Absolutely amazing. Moving over to Smoke Bomb. Smoke Bomb is going to be big for survivability, and it is going to make shadows. You want 1 into Shrouded in Darkness, 4 into Rapid Concealment, 5 into Lingering Fumes, 1 into Smoke Blades, 4 into Umbral Assault. This is what's going to give you the shadow chance at each second while you have your Smoke Bomb active. And then you got 1 extra point. I just put it over here in Blood Bandit, which gives you a little bit more leech when you are melee inside of your Smoke Bomb. Okay. Moving over to the main damage dealer, Shadow Cascade. And again, it's really your shadows using Shadow Cascade. All right. You want 4 into Shadow Torrent. This is damage per shadow. 3 into Dismantle. 1 into Onslaught. 2 into Fight in the Shadows. 2 into Gloom Stalker. 4 into Carnage. And 4 into Rapid Expanse. Okay. You want as big as area as possible so you can clear the entire screen. You want to make sure you're shredding. You want to make sure your shadows are doing as much damage as possible. Okay, great skill. Last but not least, Synchronized Strike. Now this is the skill that drops the 5 shadows that just does so much damage when you combine it with Shadow Cascade. And again, I will show you at the training dummy later. You want 3 into Dynamics, 5 into Art of the Blade, 5 into Shadow Rush, 1 into Growing Darkness, 5 into Foreshadowing, and 1 into Dark Allies. This creates an additional 2 shadows. Unfortunately, it costs 100 more mana, but you will deal with that with your gear. And on here, shadows created within 4 seconds of using Synchronized Strike deal 200% more damage. Quintessential node for the entire build. Those are the skills. Now let's check out the passives for this build. My character is level 90. Okay, not maxed at 100. This character just hit level 90. For the base class, you want 8 into Swift Assassin, 8 into Steady Hand, 1 into Twin Blade, 5 into Dodge and Parry, 8 into Duelist, and 8 into Critical Precision. You want nothing in Marksman. We don't have Falconeer. And for Bladedancer, you're going to put your other 65 points. You want 8 into Cloak of the Shadows, 8 into Shroud of Dust, 5 into Veil of Night, 1 into Apo, 5 into Pursuit, 6 into Sky, 5 into Flash of Steel, 5 into Blood Dance, 1 into Critical Eye, 5 into All In, 5 into Shadow Master, and I am currently leveling Hooked Blades, which I have 3 in. So if you had a character that was higher level, you can put 5 into here. You can put more points into Flash of Steel. You can put more points into Pursuit. I put in the points that I needed for getting the bonuses based upon the passive tree. Okay? Functions really well. Moving over to everyone's favorite gear, starting with idols. Now, of course, my gear could always be so much better. And in the description, I recommend you clicking on that link to see what the best in-slot gear is for my character breakdown, okay? But I'm going to show you what I'm using right now. So starting with idols, you want to find increased damage while using a dagger and increased critical strike multiplier while dual wielding. All right, as you can see, I am using 2 of those. On top of that, for the larger idols, you want to get increased damage while using a dagger and increased critical strike chance while using a dagger. This is a better rolled one, but you can get it as high as 45 and 55. So this is 20% away from perfect. We got the most damage you can get while wielding a dagger. On top of that, you can also get increased damage attacks by shadows. And you could, if you could find enough of these that are really great rolls, you could put 4 of these in at 40% for your shadows damage, okay? That will probably give you more damage, but you could also set it up like this. On top of that, I've just got some physical damage and some resistances I needed to round it out. So those are my idols. Moving over to gear. As you can see right now, everything you just saw gameplay-wise, I have no legendaries, and I have no uniques and no sets, okay? So again, this build could be so much better if you had better gear. We're going to go through the items one by one, but it's also nice to know that this does not have a large gear requirement. Helm. Increased damage skills used by shadows. Amulet. Physical penetration, physical damage, health. Armor. Increased damage by skills used by shadows, health. Dagger. Crit multiplier, melee physical, shred. Dagger. Crit multiplier, melee physical damage, shred. Ring, mana regen, physical damage. Belt, mana regen, physical damage. Ring, increased physical damage, attunement. Gloves, melee damage, leeched as health, and melee attack speed. Boots, health. Relic, dexterity, and crit multiplier. Now, obviously, this build right now only has 1600 life, which is like nothing. You really want double that. And I would switch out the belt likely and put on some health. I would switch out the gloves and put on some health. Same with the rings. Whenever I need more health, I switch my helmets right now, and it gets me closer to 2000, but I take a hit on damage, okay? So that's just based upon survivability, but for the most part, you do so much damage and you're leeching so much back that as long as you are in combat, you are fine. That is the gear. Now let's check out the character sheet. And remember, I am level 90. Right now I have 34 points into dexterity, 20 points into vitality. Movement speed is 37%, but you also get a boost to your movement after using shift. As far as resistances go, fire, lightning, physical, necrotic, arm all maxed, void, poison, and cold need some work. Now armor's only 500, but after you use shift, you will get a boost up to 26%, which gets you 4 digits of 1000. Now this is a guaranteed crit build. As you can see, critical strike chance across the board is at 51%, and critical strike multiplier is 452. You want as much crit multiplier as you could squeeze out of this build. So if you found some of these obsidian daggers and they happen to be a tier 7 crit multiplier, that would be absolutely huge for this build. Maybe you have some sitting around, who knows? On top of that, physical damage on this is 430%, and that is the main stat you want to look for as far as all the different damage modifiers. Now for defense, endurance is only at 38, endurance threshold 421, crit avoidance 69, and glancing blows 57. Now glancing blow is one of the main survivability mechanics you're going to use for this build, and when you use smoke bomb, you will see glancing blow go over 100%. On top of that, when you are hit, glancing blow also goes up. So almost the entire time you are fighting, you're going to be taking 35% less damage from everything, okay? Think of it like you have aspect of the boar pretty much forever on this build, okay? Now, when we actually look at the training dummy, let's just go right into this, okay? So your normal Shadow Cascade doesn't do a ton, but you're talking, 23,000, all right? So when you're clearing trash mobs, you can just use that, or you can just use shift, okay? Now, when you combine that with Synchronized Strike, see that? That was 150,000 at one point. 172, 125. And you got to remember that these damage numbers are AoE. So anything inside of those red circles, Shadow Cascades, are getting hit for that. And that's what makes this build so awesome, is that it's not about single target, it hits everything. massive damage. Now, something that I've been adding to all my build guides has been my recommendation when leveling. And this is what I will say for Rogue. I actually have an older leveling guide for Rogue, which still stands the test of time. But this is what you want to do, okay? It doesn't matter what your end game build is going to be. Even if you were going to be a marksman or a Bladedancer, this is what I would do. The 3 skills you want are Shurikens, Shift, and Cinder Strike. Now, some people like Flurry. I personally like Cinder Strike. I think it is easy to level up when you are going through the early campaign. So the first skill you would take would be Shift. Then you would take Cinder Strike. Then you would take Shurikens, okay? Those are the 3 skills. It actually doesn't even matter what order you take them in. For Shift, first thing you want to get is Kill Threshold, so it makes it easier for you to kill bosses. Then you want to come up here and get Healing Amount and then get your Shurikens, okay? For Shurikens, pretty simple. You come down and get Blade Armor. Where is it? Blade Shield, so that it circles around you, and then get your additional armor. And then for Cinder Strike, you want to come up and take Inferno, and then you want to take Blast Wave. Now, as long as you have Cinder Strike, Shift, and Shurikens, those 3 skills will get you probably close to level 50. And what you want to do is inside the passive tree, you want to make sure that you can dual wield. And then all you do is you dual wield swords or daggers, whatever you find is the best. Now for me, inside of my stash, I have all of my one-handed unique items in order, and I keep 2 of them so that it's really easy to upgrade as I go through. And if you don't have uniques, if you're a new player, you can go to Last Epoch Tools and you will see the levels as items update. So you can just get the best rare daggers, the best rare swords, and there is a level unlock for each of them. That's how you would level this build. Super easy. I mean, literally it is the fastest and easiest way to level through the campaign. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. I want to know your opinion. What do you think of my new and improved Shadow Master? Do you like this better than my last couple I've made? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget, the advanced loot filter and build guide are in the description. When you check out Best in Slot gear, I literally could not imagine this build if I had all that awesome gear. 2 asks at the end of this video. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. Hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it. Helps the channel for 2022. On top of that, ask number 2, I'm hoping today is the day you will check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 42 people that have signed up. Become an instant ARPG VIP and get Patreon exclusive content at the first link in the description. We have weekly podcast, weekly blog post, access to the VIP lounge, special title in the Discord based upon the tier you sign up at, lots of other great goodies. Again, first link in the description. If you are looking for any different builds, if you feel like this just doesn't fit your playstyle, there's over 20 in the description as well. So check it out, or it's on my playlist on the front page of my YouTube. That's all I've got. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.